Are you thinking about selling your home and wonder how to calculate how much you're going to actually walk away with after the closing? If so, this video is for you. I'm going to break down all of the costs that you can expect when selling your home so that way you know how to calculate by yourself how much money you're going to make. So stay tuned. Hey there, my name is Lindsay Heeger with eXp Realty in Northern Kentucky and Cincinnati. For our example today, we're going to use a net sale price of $200,000. So when I say net sale price, that means the sale price minus any concessions that you're paying. So for example, if you sold your house for $205,000, but you're paying $5,000 in closing costs, then your net sale price would be $200,000. So once you figure out what your net sale price will be or what you estimate that it might be, the first thing that you'll need to do is figure out what do you owe on your mortgage. Now, you can look on your mortgage statement, the most recent one, but just know that your principal balance is not your actual payoff because that does not count the interest. So you'll actually want to contact your loan officer or whoever holds your mortgage and ask them for an actual payoff because typically your payoff is going to be sometimes $2,000 more than what's on your last statement. So once you find out what you owe on the mortgage, then the next thing that you're going to want to do is calculate the commission. As you know, commissions are negotiable. So whatever you work out with your agent for your commission, it's usually going to be a percentage. That's what the next thing that you have to calculate will be. So just for this example, I'll use 6% since that is a pretty typical percentage in our area. That's what I would say I would see the most, but again, commissions are negotiable. There is no set price. So 6% on a $200,000 sale would be $12,000. So far we have $200,000 as our net price, minus our mortgage payoff, minus our commission amount. So to figure out the commission, you will just do 6% times 200,000, and that will give you 12,000. The next thing that you'll calculate is your property taxes. So you will need to look on your last year's bill for your taxes and find out what the total amount was. If you pay that from your escrow, you can look at that, but you want to know what is the total taxes. So if you pay city and county, you'll need to add those amounts together. I will estimate on this example as $2,000 for the yearly taxes. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take the $2,000 and divide that by 12 to get your monthly amount, okay? So once you do that, when I do that, I got $166. Let's pretend that we close on this house June 30th. I'm going to multiply the 166 times 6 months. And so that number gives me $1,000. So take your total yearly taxes, divide it by 12, and then take that amount and multiply it by the number of months. So if you are closing in the middle of a month, they will prorate that. So you can just figure out the math and prorate it. But just to make it easy math for us, if you close on June 30th, you're going to pay 6 months worth of taxes. Speaking of taxes, if you do escrow your taxes, you will get that back after closing from your escrow account, along with your homeowner's insurance or any other money that is in there. So you will pay it at closing, but you will get a refund from your escrow account after the closing. The next thing that you will pay is transfer taxes, which are $1 for every 1,000. So if you sell your house for $200,000, you would pay $200 for your transfer taxes. The next thing is HOA. If you live in a condo, you're gonna have 2 HOA charges. Number one, it's called a status letter. And that's basically a letter from your HOA just answering a bunch of questions that the lender needs, but you do have to provide that as the seller. And unfortunately, those are pretty expensive. I would say on average, they're about $200. And they will take this out of your proceeds at closing. However, some title companies will require you to pay for it up front. So just be on the lookout for that. So that could be a charge at closing, or you might have to pay it beforehand. But anyways, that's just basically a charge from your HOA to give the lender information that is needed about your HOA. If you have an HOA fee that you pay every monthly or annually, you will have to pay the prorated amount for that. So for example, let's say you're not in a condo, you're in a house, and let's say you pay $400 a year for your HOA. If you closed on June 30th, you would owe half of that amount, so $200. And so again, you would just prorate that for however long. Whenever you're closing, however much you owe, you just prorate that amount. Next charge is deed preparation. This can range anywhere from 90 on the low end, I've actually seen 75, all the way up to 150 on the high end. Estimating purposes, I tend to estimate on the high side for that. So I would go ahead and estimate 150 for your deed preparation, and that is just where the lawyer prepares the deed from the seller to the buyer. It's just a legal document that is required. The title company will usually charge a fee for all of the paperwork and coordinating the transaction. I would say on average that's about $150. It usually also includes overnighting your payoff to your lender for you. That's, the last charge is $150. If you have to have a power of attorney, or if you have to have a separate closing or a mobile notary or maybe a mail away closing, something like that, there will be an additional charge for those. If it's just a regular closing where you're going to be at the closing, I would just plan on about $150 for the title fee. And then one last thing, going back to the taxes, I forgot to mention, if you close, usually the tax bills around here come out October 1st. So if your lender has already paid those by the time we go to the closing, then if you close from any time after that in October all the way to December, then you'll actually get a credit back for your taxes since you've already paid them. So you'll get a small credit for about a month or two. So using our example of the $200,000 sale minus the payoff of, let's say, $120,000 on the sale, if you deduct all of the charges that we just talked about, this seller would net about $66,100. And usually how it works is the title company will deduct all of those charges from your proceeds, and then you'll get a check for what's left over, or you can have that money wired to you. So hopefully this video helped you figure out how much you are actually going to make at the closing. If you have a real estate agent such as myself, then obviously we would do this for you. But if you have any questions about real estate in Northern Kentucky or Cincinnati, please don't hesitate to reach out. I would love to be a resource for you. Hey there, it's me again. I just wanted to pop on here and edit a few things. Please disregard the noise in the background. It is my dogs chewing on bones. They follow me everywhere I go, so I can't get rid of them. But anyways, number one, you probably noticed that I messed up on the math on the property taxes. I just miscalculated. The directions are still the same. Just follow those directions with your numbers and you will be fine. And then the second thing is the condo owners. I had mentioned there are 2 other fees that they pay aside from the HOA fees. One of those I talked about was the status letter. That's the one that everybody pays. That's part of an HOA. But the condo owners have to pay another fee. It's called a condo questionnaire. And it's pretty similar, but a little bit more in depth. The HOA company will charge you for that. And there's no way around it. You have to have it in order to close. So you will have to pay that. It's another couple $100 fee. Make sure you ask your agent to stay on top of it, because if the title company waits till the last minute to order that, then they'll charge you a rush order fee. And then you're paying even more. Anyways, I just wanted to pop on here and let you know of those 2 things. So if you have any questions, reach out and I'll see you soon. $66,000 and 100. Just kidding.